the keys are to the glory days at the stick. From who's got it better than us to brick by brick. It's always the 49ers way, from offseason to game day. Yeah, we talk back. It's the 49ers Cutback.
It's 49ers Cutback Podcast time. Welcome to the show. And this is going to be fun, Alex. This is going to be a great time, and we're going to get all into it. And because it is Thursday, that means there's a Q&A the whole time. So populate that chat. Of course, we're going to go through the 49ers news along the way, but start populating chat with any questions you want us to go through.
Very true. Brad, I don't know if you've known this, my guy, but we've been on all week. There's been live streams every night. We've been doing them at 5:30. That's Thursday. We typically do 4:30, but we wanted to make sure we got enough of our stuff done throughout the rest of the week. So we pushed tonight to technically up from the whole week, which has typically been 5:30 to 5, and what is typically on Thursdays a 4:30 stream. push it back to 5. But look, hey, we got tons of things to talk about. So much news coming out for the 49ers, and there's obviously injury report stuff. And I know, folks, that's what you want to hear first. So we're not going to make you wait on it. We're going to get right to the injury report stuff and talk about all of the injuries the Niners are dealing with, or maybe they're not dealing with as many injuries, because Kyle Shanahan came out in his presser and gave everyone the full rundown, right? Nick Bosa, he'll be full practicing. Alex Mack, obviously full practicing. But Ambry Thomas was going to be full go at practice today. Jimmy Garoppolo was going to be a full go at practice today. Elijah Mitchell was supposed to be limited in practice today. And Jeff Wilson was also supposed to be limited in practice today. However, we finished the day with Trent Williams and Jeff Wilson both DNPing. So neither guy practices, but Elijah Mitchell did get his limited practice in. Ambry gets a full practice in. Are we getting Ambry Thomas back for sure?
Yeah, Ambry Thomas is going to be back. And I think Ambry Thomas will probably start, opposite of Emmanuel Moses. I say probably because you just never know what DeMeco Ryans is going to do ultimately. Also Dante Johnson just played good, but I think it's Ambry's job. And he played so well against the Rams before. I think he's got the right, inside track to do it. The fact that he's a full participant after yesterday's limited means, we're sitting in a good situation. The one that I'm the most worried about now is Jeff Wilson Jr. The fact that he was supposed to be limited and then wasn't able to go means something's not feeling correct. Something's not feeling right. I said earlier in the week he was the one I had the most pause about playing, and I'm going to continue to stay the course on that. I think Trent Williams is not going to practice all week, and then he's going to gut it out on Sunday. But I think Jeff Wilson Jr. could miss his football game. I'm hopeful that he'll play, but they might at some point decide that Jeff Wilson Jr. is not going to be the guy and then roll with someone like Trenton Cannon and use him on special teams.
That could be something the Niners do. Absolutely could be the case for them going into this football game. We're going to wait and see. Elijah Mitchell getting a limited practice in tends to be a positive thing for the 49ers. He's been dealing with that knee now for some time. So whenever he DNPs early in the week, not a big deal. When he starts getting limited practices in towards the end of the week, it's like, okay, this guy's going to be good to go. They're just managing him. That's all they're trying to do is manage that issue there and what he's dealing with. But you can tell, no Deebo on the list, no Kittle on the list. Kyle even believes that Kittle is going to be as close to healthy as possible and should be able to make some big plays. He said that in his presser as well earlier today when someone asked him how George is doing and how he's feeling. He's on the injury report, so he's obviously good enough to go. There's no concerns or issues there. But at the end of the day, he's feeling and looking like he's going to be good to go. And David Campbell
David
V, who's up his membership now, 6 months, 6-month channel member here on the Cutback, on the 49ers Cutback channel, the 6-month Cutback crew member says, #TCC, let's go Niners. I like that.
Yeah, awesome, David V. We really appreciate you. David V's been a day one guy. We just love it. He's in everything that we do. Really appreciate him. David V, you're one of the real ones for sure.
One of the realists.
And Alex, these guys, they're populating with questions. Let's go through some of the questions before we get into some of the news.
Juanito had a good one here. What will the addition of K1 do for the defense this week since he wasn't out there in week 18?
Oh, he's going to help stabilize that. I mean, you've seen them take advantage of Cooper Kupp one-on-one with Dante Johnson in the Week 18 matchup. That was, a little bit of a struggle, and that was a huge play in that game. It was 3rd and 9. It looked like the Niners were going to get a quick 3-and-out, and they were going to be able to take charge of the game and complete that momentum from Week 10. But that big throw over the top to Cooper Kupp really got the Rams offense going. I know they only ended up with a field goal because the 49ers defense stiffened, but having K1 Williams there, you just feel comfortable. I mean, is he going to get beat occasionally? Yes. but they don't normally complete passes on him. And when they do, he's usually right there on them. He's had opportunities. He had the interception against Dallas, a near interception against Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. He's a playmaker, and where his biggest addition could be is when he decides to blitz or is playing in run fits. So yeah, it's going to make a big difference in this game.
Absolutely, and it's going to make a huge difference in the game. Ernest Batley, why are the Rams such favorites going into this football game?
Because they're in LA and they have all the big names. I mean, this is what always happens. When you have the big names, you're the team that's going to be the favorite. No one can get past the Donald and the Von Miller and the Matthew Stafford and the Sean McVay and his handsome, rugged good looks, and Jalen Ramsey's a lockdown corner.
He is pretty.
The problem is, for every one of those guys, there's a reader, and there's a Skoranek. And you're just like, no, just no. And the thing is sometimes it's not about having the big star names. It's about having a better complete roster. I heard Eric Crocker say he believes the Rams are a better roster than the 49ers. My jaw almost dropped.
Hard pass.
I think it's close, but the Niners are, in my opinion, better from top to bottom. 1-53 are a better roster than the Rams. I think the Rams have some bigger names. They have some more talented players at certain positions, but the Niners also have some more talented players at certain positions. The Rams don't have a Trent Williams. They don't. He doesn't exist for them. They don't have anyone on that offensive line that can do the things that he can do.
No, they really truly don't. None of their linebackers, are Fred Warner or Dre Greenlaw.
Yeah.
Look, they got a big name at a handful of spots across the board. You have Matt Stafford, right? You have Cooper Kupp, and I wouldn't even say Cooper Kupp is a bigger name than Deebo Samuel, although there are some people out there who believe that Deebo Samuel should be nowhere near mentioned Offensive Player of the Year or the MVP category. I was mind blown by someone who actually threw a fit that Madden named Deebo Samuel their Player of the Year and gave him his own little My Ultimate Team card. Guy who's very anti-EA. I thought this was going to be a video where he came out and was like, EA finally did the right thing. Gave a guy who was extremely dynamic and important to his team all season long. That this is that tells me that he came out and said they obviously don't know football if they think Deebo Samuel is the Offensive Player of the Year for the NFL. I'm like, it needs to be someone who's valuable to their team's success. I was like, bro, you don't watch football. You have to not watch football. There is nobody on the 49ers offense that is more important to their success than Deebo Samuel. Deebo Samuel is the catalyst. Early in the season, it was the pass game. Late in the season, it was the run game. You don't win a lot of football games if Deebo Samuel doesn't do the things that he did all throughout the year for more now than, we're sitting at 19 games for the 49ers? I mean, he's done it for 19 games.
Yeah. I mean, I think this is simple, right? Deebo Samuel's one of the most dynamic players, and I think he's getting his recognition some with the national media.
Yeah,
he's somebody that they can relate to. They like him, but the problem is they hate Jimmy G. So no matter what, it's going to be Stafford is so much better than Jimmy G that just puts all the weight in the Los Angeles Rams category. So that doesn't really surprise me.
Juanito here, great comment. As I was watching the Niners recap on the 49ers YouTube page against the Packers, Fred, after the opening drive, turns to the team. They're not good on the sideline, screaming it. They are not good. This is not a good team.
Yeah, he said that. And you know what? He's not wrong. That's your attitude you have to be. Is like, they're good, but not good when we're playing. And I think that's what he's saying. They're not that good. We should be able to shut them down. He wasn't wrong. They went after Green Bay after that. So I love that. I love that aggressiveness from Fred, and that was actually really fun to watch. Did you watch 49 Hours? Did you get to watch that?
I watched it.
It was really cool. There are moments in that game where the hair stands up on the back of my neck, and you just feel that adrenaline rush again. It's like,
that's a great series, by the way.
Yeah, it is.
It's wonderful.
I love it. It's fantastic.
James Vega with the $5 super chat. What up, TCC/faithful? Does Ambry get the start over DJ?
I hope so.
Do we have a heavy use of Deebo early or later in the game? Great work, Ant and Alex. James, we greatly appreciate that.
Yeah, definitely.
If Ambry's healthy, it's going to be Ambry Thomas.
I think so, too. I would like to leave the cautiously optimistic it's going to be Ambry Thomas, only because nothing has been set in stone at the cornerback position all year. But I do think it's going to be him. I think they liked the way he played against the Rams last time. He's going to have that familiarity. He played OBJ really well in that game. I think it's going to be Ambry. And then I think as far as Deebo goes, I think you're going to get a heavy dose of Deebo whenever they need him. I wouldn't be surprised if you don't see him in the backfield a couple of times in the first 5 plays. Don't see him targeted, in a couple of times. He's going to be heavy in the script. Kyle Shanahan scripts his first 25 plays. I'll bet you, 12 to 15 of those plays are designed to go to Deebo Samuel.
That is accurate. They are going to be designed to Deebo Samuel. We'll see there. I think this is going to be a situation where you're going to get a heavy use of Deebo. You're going to get heavy use of all your weapons. It really is going to come down to in what facets of the game. Deebo's going to get 5 to 6 carries at the bare minimum. But could it be more than that? Well, it really is going to depend on what the Rams are doing with their defense, what they're trying to take away, and when Deebo is in the backfield, what's going to happen. And so yeah, look, it is Stovey. You're right. It is trending towards Ambry Thomas being able to go. He had a full practice today, so that's great news for the 49ers. We'll just see how the rest of the week goes and see how he progresses. Lalo Berardo from the Madden League, from the Cutback Madden League. What's up, guys? 49ers gonna win this game. Alex, looking forward to our rematch. I owe you a turnover. You owe me more than just one turnover, my guy, because I gave you quite a few in that loss, which will be all the Madden stuff I've been trying to get caught up on, getting everything recorded and getting it all set up. But I'm getting close. I got a few games left, and then be ready. Cutback crew, Patreon, faithful. It is going to be coming at you.
A Madden marathon?
It is. It is going to be a Madden. There's going to be multiple videos, and not just like multiple videos a day, but I mean multiple weeks probably at a time to try and get ourselves caught up by the time we get to the Super Bowl. Because I'd like to at least get to the playoffs by the time we get to the Super Bowl. I have almost all of them done, just a handful more to go. I've been grinding on that end, trying to get them all caught up, man.
Well, the good thing is there's 2 weeks before the Super Bowl. So,
true.
Let's hope the Niners are playing in that timetable. That'd be great.
Please let that be the case. I really, really would love that to be the case. And Bomber asked, did Big Trent practice? He did not. He DNP'd, but this is kind of the thing we expect now. We're expecting a DNP from Trent pretty much all week, and then him just being able to go. They're going to just try and make sure he's healthy.
Yeah, I would guess they're going to test it on Saturday, see where he's at. But he's going to be really a game time decision. But I think he wants to play. He's going to go out there and try to gut it out, and let's see. But we're hopeful. We're hopeful he can be out there. He'll make a big impact in this game. I'm counting on him playing. I mean, part of what my score prediction is because Trent Williams is on the field, so I'm really hoping he's going to be out there. We know the Niners can win without him, but it sure is easier to win with him. It
is way easier to win with Trent Williams than without him, my guy. Some updates on the Los Angeles Rams cutback crew. There was a little bit of an update with them. Joe Noteboom, the backup tackle there, dealing with that pectoral strain, DNP'd for the second consecutive day. Greg Gaines was full participant in practice. Van Jefferson got a limited day in. Buddy Howell got a full day in. Taylor Rapp had a limited practice. Andrew Whitworth, full. John Wolford, their backup quarterback, now on the injury designation because he has an illness. He DNP'd today at practice. So it looks like they're going to get Whitworth back. Taylor Rapp still trending towards being able to play. Van Jefferson, limited practice, goes from DNP to limited, so he's trending towards the right direction. We still haven't seen any of that Ernest Jones fellow linebacker that Sean McVay's so excited about. So we'll see what happens there if they get another linebacker back at all. But yeah, that's the injury report from the Rams. So no real updates there. You got to imagine they're going to get all of these guys going. They're going to be as close to healthy as possible.
Yeah, I think so. I think that both teams are going to come in there pretty much with a full loaded roster, ready to go. And these guys are going to gut out any sort of injuries they have. These injuries aren't going to matter. These guys are going to go play through it. As long as they're physically able to do it, they're going to go out there and play. And I think it's all about pain management. It's all about handling the pain, making sure it doesn't affect your play. But these guys, I mean, we've been saying this since the beginning of the season. No one plays football at 100% after week 1. It's just not possible. These guys are going there and playing a physical brand of football. They don't stay healthy. It's really one of those things where you got to be the toughest guy. You got to be the one that's the most ready to go each week. And part of that's preparation, and part of that's just mind over matter and just making sure you're ready to get it done. So yeah, it's going to be an exciting game. I don't think there's going to be any excuses. The best team's going to walk away with a victory. Just hoping that's the 49ers. I think it can be.
Absolutely, Ant. I'm hoping it can be as well. I think that this can happen. Have you guys heard anything more about DeMeco Ryans or Mike getting head coaching jobs? Heard Mike is now the favorite for the Miami job. He's not the favorite, but he has been brought in for a second interview. They're going to be bringing him in for a second interview.
Yeah.
However, DeMeco Ryans is a finalist for the Minnesota job.
Yeah, they had done the second interview with DeMeco Ryans and with the Minnesota Vikings. We did see this with Adam Peters, right? Front office, he became a finalist, had done a second interview with the New York Giants. They chose someone else. DeMeco Ryans is a finalist in Minnesota, and it looks like Mike McDaniel is getting some serious attention there in Miami. It doesn't surprise me. Both guys are super smart. 49ers success ultimately, right, dictates how much of a look these guys get. They're both very, going to be very good interviews. Mike McDaniel is a good dude. He knows about offense, and DeMeco's running one of the best defenses in the league right now. So somebody's going to take a chance on him. Just hopefully it's next year.
So here are the 3 big names for the Miami job, Ant.
Mm-hmm.
Won't surprise you. None of these names will surprise you. Matter of fact, I'd be willing to bet you could name the other two names other than Mike McDaniels.
Why? Because they're all offensive guys?
Yes.
I bet Kellen Moore.
Yes.
Byron Leftwich.
Not Byron Leftwich.
Ooh.
Brian Dabble.
Okay, that makes sense.
That would have been the next guy on your list, most likely.
I keep thinking Dabble will go up to New York. That's why I keep thinking that.
You would think, right?
Yeah.
You would think he wouldn't want Tua.
Yeah.
But who knows? Maybe he's thinking we can get Deshaun Watson.
Florida, too.
Or there's that, too. There's also that. So, look, at the end of the day, McDaniels has some competition. There's Kellen Moore there, who ran a very high-powered offense with the Cowboys this last year, although they completely, didn't take care of business in the division, in the wild card round, excuse me. But Brian Dabble, I mean, look what the Bills just did. Look at the amount of points they just put up on the Kansas City Chiefs. He may end up actually being the front runner. So you might be in a situation where, Mike McDaniels is getting a lot of interviews and getting to the end stages, but it may just not be his time. It is still very early for him and his coordinator job openings.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think he's in the mix. The fact that he made it to the second interview is impressive.
Absolutely.
Those other two guys are a little bit more polished than him as far as, experience as being offensive coordinators. You would think Dabble would be the guy who would have the most, experience and the best chance of getting this job, but it doesn't mean he will. Miami makes interesting decisions a lot of times. I was surprised they fired Flores. I'm not sure that was the best idea, but obviously they want to go for an offensive mind. We'll see how that works out. And you just had, the Denver Broncos just made their hire. So
true. They absolutely did. James asked, did we see a full go for Trent, or could we see him getting subbed to keep him fresh throughout the game? If Trent's going, he's full going.
Yeah, if he's going, he's full go.
Agreed with you on that. Hank, who do you like in a matchup of Trent Williams versus Von Miller and then Jalen Ramsey versus Deebo? In a Trent versus Von Miller category, it's Trent Williams.
Always.
Never anything else other than Trent Williams. The best left tackle in football for a reason.
Yeah, I mean, could Von Miller get him once? Yeah, but that's the difference, right? When you watch Trent Williams, somebody may get him once.
They don't get him again.
It's one time. Of course, it'll depend on how healthy Trent is. Of course, he's dealing with the ankle. But I like our chances of having Von Miller going against Trent Williams. I know you brought this up that you would actually think about putting Von Miller over on Tom Compton.
I think that's what they're going to do. I don't think you're going to see a whole lot of Von Miller on Trent Williams. Feels like a waste.
For some reason, he plays that side. That's the side he plays. Floyd plays the other side.
That is true.
Yeah.
Jalen Ramsey versus Deebo. I don't know if you're going to see that much of that matchup. I'll be 100% honest with you. The way the Niners use him, I don't know if they line him up on him unless Deebo is out wide.
Yeah, I think there'll be times that Jalen Ramsey will be on him. But the goal has been take away George Kittle. Kittle used to kill them. And so they started using Jalen Ramsey on George Kittle. The problem was in Week 18, Deebo started being the guy who caused problems. So then they flipped Jalen Ramsey over onto Deebo Samuel. And then Kyle Shanahan moved Deebo around, made that difficult. And then when he did put him outside, put him farther outside to give more room for like Jawan Jennings to be able to make catches. So yeah, I mean, he can take someone away. Jalen Ramsey's that guy. He'll be on Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, George Kittle. He'll probably cover them all at certain times. Jimmy Garoppolo's just got to locate it and then figure out what the coverage is. We know he'll be able to figure out the coverage a little bit easier as soon as they put one of their guys in motion, because they motion more than anyone else in the league.
Very true. And Bomber, the injury for Trent is an ankle. That's what he's dealing with. Megan had said that. Any surprises for the TCC in the offseason on the pod, asked Megan. Oh, plenty. We're in offseason content mode at that point.
Yeah, I mean, there'll be lots of stuff. Of course, last year we really got into, the free agency stuff. We were able to hit some, breaking news stuff with the Trent Williams thing. We were actually one of the very first ones, if not the first one to break the Trent Williams
Let's
news.
Be honest, we were the first ones.
First ones, yeah, especially on the platform, YouTube. We got it out there in a hurry. And then, as far as the draft, we really got into the draft content last year, and that was exciting. We streamed, on draft days. So I'm looking forward to doing all that again. But yes, there's going to be surprises. There's going to be things we've been working on. But they wouldn't be surprises now if we told you, would they?
That's true, Megan. They wouldn't be surprises. Yeah. So now you know that something's coming, which means you'll be less surprised. And how dare you do that to the Cutback crew? Because they could have been the most amount of surprised. We'll see what happens, though. Niner Faith, we get it. They can't stop Deebo.
No, they can't.
We know.
They might be able to slow him a little bit with Jalen Ramsey on occasion, but they're not going to be able to stop him. They're going to move him around, use him in a bunch of different areas where he can be successful. Yeah, you're right. They're not going to stop him.
Ernest Batley with the Deebo. Whoa.
I like
doing that for Tebow. I remember that. That's good for Deebo.
I do like that.
That's good for Deebo. I like that. Jag, $5 super chat. Ant, I have confidence in our team because we are battle tested against playoff teams. Mad props to Shanahan for keeping the team together when we were 3-5.
Yeah, I got a question for the TCC and everyone in chat. Have they seen anyone predict a 49ers victory over 3 points?
Ooh.
Because I have been listening to all the predictions, and it doesn't matter if they're a 49er pundit or not. I haven't seen anyone predict a 49ers victory over 3 points.
That's true. Everything that I've seen has been 3 points.
Brian Peacock, 2 points. Eric Crocker, 3 points.
So everyone then, Ant, everyone is predicting the Rams to cover at this point.
Well, no, that would be the Niners getting points right there. The Niners are getting
right.
3.5.
They're getting 3.5, right? So that was,
no
one's. Those people are saying the Niners cover.
Okay. Correct.
Okay. Interesting. Very, very interesting. You guys see Dan Quinn is staying in Dallas.
Wow.
I didn't see that.
I didn't know he wasn't going to get a run as a head coach. I thought that was something.
Well, I wonder if there was a conversation just about if this doesn't work out with this gentleman.
With Mike McCarthy.
This fine gentleman over here, then.
Well, I mean, I'm surprised because you would think Jerry Jones is sitting there right now just salivating at the thought of Sean Payton being available. The younger big tuna that I always wanted.
The younger big tuna that I always wanted. But the problem with that is isn't Sean Payton?
Do you see what Shooter did? 24-20. Well played.
All right, Shooter. I see you over there. I see you over there playing games, going with 4 points instead of 3.
Yeah, Ernest said he saw a few, 1 or 2 YouTubers, but nobody who is that isn't a basic fan.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good. Well, the fans have faith in it. That's great news.
Yeah. No, I was just curious because everyone's going super tight game.
Well, here's the thing: if they're picking the Niners tight, and you and I feel like this thing could be not tight, they got a lot of other things wrong. Maybe this one too.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it, to be honest. I was just wondering. Yeah, but everyone should check out the game preview show tomorrow. We're going to give our score predictions. It will not be what you expect and what everyone else is talking about.
Accurate. You will not be disappointed with the game preview show tomorrow. Tons of great predictions and bold takes. And you can't forget the boldness. The real question will be, do you go with another special teams one, or do you just ride with your offense and defense bold predictions? Because you and I have been hitting on the defensive bold predictions. I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, exactly.
Davey says it was just announced Quinn is staying in Dallas.
Wow, okay.
That's an interesting thing that you would announce your defensive coordinator is staying in Dallas.
Yeah, I was kind of interested in that too because of the fact if D'Amico leaves, Dan Quinn is a possible replacement.
True.
But not now.
True. Bomber, you guys think Trey's short passes will be better next year? I have faith that those things are going to get cleaned up with Trey Lance. We're just gonna have to wait and see where he is. It's less about his short passes being better and more about him just being able to diagnose defenses, understand what he's seeing, and then be able to get the ball out based on what he's seeing. Part of the reason why his short passing game isn't as great right now is because he's not comfortable with what he's looking at.
Yeah, I think with Trey, he's just learning the offense. He's gonna learn where to go with the football. And right now he's a little amped a lot of times, so he's firing the ball in there. I think everything's going to be better for him. The more he gets comfortable with the offense, the more he gets comfortable with where his reads are, where his wide receivers are going to be, getting used to reading their body language, and then understanding the defenses that are going to be played against, Kyle Shanahan's offense, then he's going to be able to throw with anticipation. Some of the throws that Jimmy Garoppolo made against Green Bay show the throws of anticipation. That throw he made to George Kittle was fantastic. He was already throwing it before George Kittle was making his break. And then you had the one to Juwan Jennings over the middle. He threw that one before Jennings was even looking back. He's doing some elite things there, and those are things that I expect from Trey because whenever you see that, it's usually a coaching point, right? So Rich Scangarello is going to be working on that. I think Scangarello is the right person to develop Trey Lance. I expect him to take a lot of strides over the offseason, and I think he'll start making those throws.
I completely agree with you. I think he will as well. I don't think that's a crazy thing to think. I mean, Trey is going to develop. That's the reality of the situation. He's getting confidence. He's starting to learn the offense. He's starting to understand what's going on. He's seeing the way Jimmy Garoppolo handles it, and that's just going to fuel him. It's going to feed him. But speaking of confidence, Ant, speaking of guys who have confidence, Dre Greenlaw had some comments today about the 49ers defense. The direct quote, Ant, was, "Shoot, I still, I still feel it. It's no doubt we're the best defense on the planet." On the planet. Talk about a guy who is lit AF, and this guy is at 100 right now. He's been 100 since he came back in Week 18. Is he wrong, though?
I ain't going to tell him he's wrong. And nothing about what the 49ers have done on defense in the playoffs say anything about him being wrong. Shutting down the number one offense in the league in Dallas That proves it. Going in there into Green Bay and shutting down Aaron Rodgers. Alex, when you think about the Aaron Jones pass for 75 yards, if you take that away, if you don't have that break in coverage from Jimmy Ward, you're talking about Aaron Rodgers throwing for 120 yards in the football game? 120 yards. That's elite defense. He's not wrong. And they got to go in there and prove it. And whenever you have the best defense on the planet, you have a chance to win a Super Bowl. So I think that's what he's saying. I think they feel that confidence. You got Fred Warner yelling on the sidelines, like Juanito said earlier. They're not that good. I think they just believe that they're that defense right now. They're that team. They have big-time playmakers at every level of the defense. But yeah, I love these comments from Dre Greenlaw. The confidence is real.
It's extremely real, man. This is a guy who completely jacked. He feels like this whole team is just kept fighting and fighting. The coach said there was going to be a breakthrough of when we were clicking and we're on, and they're going to have to deal with us. So yeah, I feel like we're just on the move right now, and he feels very confident with his defense, and the defense has done great things. And David Campbell just said he read the 49ers are the first team in NFL history to beat 3 12-win teams in a row on the road. That's a pretty crazy stat if that's true.
Yeah, it is. And what does that mean? They could be the first team to do it 4 times.
Very well could be the case.
Yeah, so that's exciting.
Absolutely.
I seen Davey said rumors of Mostert to the Jets.
No, I think he's referring to the poll right now, which says, "Did you see Raheem Morris's comments TCC?"
Oh.
So he's saying Raheem Mostert to the Jets. I have not seen any Mostert news. There is no Mostert information, but we are talking about Raheem Morris. And Ant, over 60% of the Cutback crew did not see Raheem Morris's comments, which means things are about to get juicy because George Kittle and D'Amico Ryans are focused on the game, not bulletin board material, but Raheem Morris seems to be very focused on bulletin board material. He's been going back all week with his players and talking about George Kittle's presser after the Week 18 win, in which George Kittle said, "Hopefully I can see them again because that was a fun body bag game." Raheem Morris is using that as a motivation for his guys and said today in a presser, "They put us in one, and now it's time to pay him back." I think they're talking about specifically, apparently, George. We'll see if you can do that, my guy. But Kittle and D'Amico Ryans are focused more on the game. Kittle said both teams are 2-0 going into this game. We're basically 0-0. It's a new week. That's all we're focused on. The Rams are a fantastic football team, has found a way to win the last 2 weeks and completely routed Arizona, a team that we didn't beat. And then they went down to Tampa and beat Tom Brady and the Bucs in the divisional round. So they're dangerous as ever. Stars all over the field. That's what we're focused on. It's an opportunity to play football against the Rams, a division rival, and get a win. What a response by George Kittle. But the fact that Raheem Morris made that comment, Ant, what are you thinking?
They're trying to come up with something to make themselves feel like they have an opportunity to win this game, come up with some extra motivation. They were the ones that were saying it was a body bag thing in their locker room. George Kittle made the comments that it was going to be a body bag game. And then, he said afterward or during the game, they were saying, "Hey, get him a body bag." And he was saying, "A lot of time left in this game, boys." And so when it got time, and the game was over and he held his press conference, he kind of, talked about that a little bit and then did a maniacal laugh as he walked away. You're dealing with a George Kittle that has a Joker tattoo on his arm. You think this guy cares that you say you're going to come for him? He's going to look you in the face and say, "Just bring it. Let's go." This is not going to do anything. This is no big deal. Raheem Morris can say whatever he wants to try to cultivate some sort of adrenaline and push his team to play a little bit harder. When it comes down to it, though, they have to prove it on the field. Nothing that gets said during the week matters. I think this 49ers team knows what's up, and they're going to have to go in there. And Deebo's going to be snatching chains. Kittle's is going to be going in there and playing with no fear, and they're going to have to deal with it.
Absolutely, 100%. And TCC is saying something about Mina Kimes and Twitter beef.
Oh,
I have not seen it.
I've seen it all.
You have?
Yeah, Mina Kimes had some negative things to say about Jimmy Garoppolo, but I mean, when is that new, right?
Mina Kimes is kind of negative on
Jimmy Garoppolo. She's a Seattle Seahawks fan, number one.
Also true.
But I mean, Mina Kimes can say what she wants, but when it comes down to what Jeff Garcia had some very harsh statements and said some things about, like, Mina Kimes basically can't comment on it because she's never played the position. I do not agree with Jeff Garcia. Jeff Garcia is wrong in this situation. I understand maybe he can be a little hot under the collar about the things that she's saying about Jimmy Garoppolo, but that doesn't mean she can't have an opinion on it, that she can't talk about it.
She can have an opinion on it, but I think what Jeff is meaning to say is you can have your opinion, but that doesn't mean I have to take any credence to anything you've said because you've never had to do it. himself.
I think that's a falsehood.
I think you're correct.
Does that mean Mike McDaniel's not a good coach?
No.
He's never done it?
Absolutely not.
I'm just saying it's a terrible thought process.
Not. I agree with you.
It was misogynist the way he said it, too.
But that's what I mean. It takes some of the sting off if you phrase it that way. You phrase it that way, it takes some of the sting off.
You'll have to read it.
I didn't read the comment. I don't know. But listen, at the end of the day, that isn't the only thing. I mean, you got that happening. You have a lot of people coming to Jimmy's defense. I did see these tweets, and maybe this is what sparked the tweets.
Yeah,
maybe these are subtweets. I don't know.
I don't also listen to Mina Kimes. I don't really listen to the 4-letter network at all.
ESPN.
Yeah, I don't listen to that.
There's no point to.
But I'm not really a fan of that comments like, oh well, you've never done it, so you don't understand kind of thing. No, I mean, come on, come on, Jeff. I mean, I get what he's trying to say, but come on now.
There's a better way to do it.
Yeah, 100%.
There's definitely a better way to do it. Indeed, Ant, and okay, sir. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. But not George Kittle, but Deebo Samuel, Ant, and Jaquiski Tart both had comments to make. Deebo tweeted out, crazy how y'all have so much to say about our quarterback. Check his winning percentage. Okay, I'll wait. Pure winner at Jimmy G10. And Jaquiski Tart, crazy how the media don't talk about how much we love Jimmy G. The media need to be held accountable too, with a nice yawny face emoji. It feels like this has been building for some time with this team with the media. We've been seeing it from Deebo the last few weeks, with the Zoom call last week where he's getting off the Zoom call and basically said the way that these people are asking me, you're awesome.
BV said he just noticed.
Oh yes, it's wonderful. He's awesome. But it feels like this has been building now for a little bit of time with the media,
yeah,
the 49ers players, and it feels like now the guys are just sick of it and just coming out and saying what they need to say.
I mean, this is one of those things, right? The me against the world thing. I mean, sometimes you can rally and you can bring things together. Bill Walsh used to talk about the media a lot and how, hey, they just want you to lose. It's something that can bring players together, team together. So I'm excited about the way they're standing up for their guy. But I mean, when it comes down to it, get out there and prove it on the field. There's no better way than to go out there and win. There's no better way for Jimmy Garoppolo to shut people up than to win. There's no better way for this team to shut people up. What are they going to say? Are the Rams more talented next week if the Rams aren't playing?
It's very true, but hold on a second.
Yeah.
It looks like we had a little bit of an issue. It went down.
Okay.
OBS crashed for a second. It popped right back up. I think we're back and connected right now, so we'll see here. We'll see. Cutback crew, let us know if we're good and if we're back. I hope so. Hopefully we didn't lose too many people here on that drop off there. But hey, you know what? It's gonna be interesting, man. All of these comments and everything that's going on. Look, at the end of the day, you're worried about the guys in your locker room, and what you have right now is guys who are trying to build up each other. You're really trying to take care of each other, and you're really trying to be there for each other, support each other. And I feel like Jimmy has taken enough at this point. A lot of people have been silent. Jimmy's not on social media, so for them, I mean, he has a Twitter account, but the last time he posted was like 6 years ago. He doesn't post. He doesn't look at things. So these guys that are on here seeing these people talking about Jimmy G and having things to say about Jimmy, they're just sick of it now. And you know what? This is our boy. We've been focusing and doing our jobs all season. We're going to keep focusing and doing our jobs, but I'm going to let people know right now, you're just wrong.
Yeah, I think that it's just kind of been the normal thing, right? Tart said he'd been quiet for too long earlier this year, and now he's stepping up, and it's rallying around their teammates, and that's what you want. You want to defend your teammates in this situation. Jimmy takes a lot of heat, some of it warranted and some of it not, and I think they're just tired of hearing the things. They just want everyone to know that, hey, my guy's a winner. We're going to win football games when he's the quarterback, and I'm glad they have his back.
I agree with you there, Ant. I'm glad they have his back as well. That's what I want. I want a team that's together, it's united, that there's no distractions, and at the end of the day, this team has done a really good job all season long, Ant, of tuning out distractions, overcoming adversity, and trying to be, as Davey just said, the definition of team. They are all about each other. There's a lot of selfless dudes in the locker room who are willing to sacrifice in order to get it. So, hey, listen, no drop on my end either from David Bender. I love it, Ant. I love to hear that. Everything seems to be A-okay with OBS. Appreciate that. All the noise about Jimmy will power us to win. I agree, Davey. I think a lot of the things you have going on right now are people who are... It's people who don't understand how the Niners have gotten to this situation. They don't really fully understand football, and that, you don't have to have the superstar in order to accomplish it. And Kyle basically came out and Oh man, I just deleted it. But I just deleted that. Kyle came out and had some things to say about Jimmy Garoppolo, and basically was talking about how, this team rallies around Jimmy. We win and we play team football, which means that Jimmy at times isn't going to be a guy who puts up the big crazy stat numbers and things of that nature. And so sometimes that means he's not going to have the numbers, and that it may say something about Jimmy, or people may believe a narrative about Jimmy. But at the end of the day, Jimmy has done an incredible job for the team this year. Yes, he makes some bad throws, but he does a lot of things that puts us in positions, and that if it weren't for Jimmy Garoppolo, we wouldn't be in the NFC Championship game right now.
Yeah, I think so. I think Jimmy's a reason why we're here. And you know what? We're still waiting for him to put together one of those great performances. I mean, heaven forbid for the rest of these teams in this league, if Jimmy Garoppolo comes out and has one of those performances he had against New Orleans, not only will the Rams lose, they will lose royally, because he's just that good. When he comes to that, he doesn't always play in that regard. He does, however, I see a lot of people talking about in the chat. He does, however, play efficiently. He gets the 49ers in the right situations to be successful. And there's a lot that plays into that. The pre-snap is so important for the 49ers offense, because he needs to make the proper reads. He needs to be able to get this run game into the right sets. You talk about it all the time about him going ahead, and killing plays, or, canning plays and moving plays to the other side with his Oscar call. All those things can't be ignored. Those are things that our backup quarterbacks throughout the years who haven't been able to do. And Jimmy does that at a high level. There's a good reason why Jimmy Garoppolo wins football games, because he understands what he's supposed to do. And when the biggest moments come, especially this season, he has proven that he's cooler than a cucumber, and he can lead the team down to win the football game.
100% agree. He definitely can get it done. He's done it consistently all season long. But look, Ernest just said it. We are a team. Our QB is a good dude and wickedly efficient. He works with our scheme, and from what players say, that scheme is hard. He is intelligent and a great football player, and he puts the team in the right spots to win games. Does he do some things sometimes that makes it a little bit harder? Absolutely. But you know what the team does? Rallies. His mistakes don't deflate the team. And part of the reason they don't deflate the team is because they don't deflate him. Jimmy is not making mistakes right now and being like, oh, God, oh, Jesus, oh, boy, oh, here we go. I've ruined it for everybody. No, he's bouncing back. He doesn't let it affect him. And if it's not affecting him, it's not going to affect this group.
Yeah, Davey says, the only thing I dislike about Jimmy is that grin he has when he throws a pick. I do know that bugs a lot of people, right? That Jimmy, I think some people deal with stress different ways, right? When they're stressed, some people smile, some people laugh, some people cry, some people get angry. I just think it's his coping mechanism. You can tell he's upset. There's usually a loud curse word that comes when Jimmy Garoppolo makes a mistake. It's when he gets to the sidelines that you see the grin. So I understand that. I get that, especially if you're a fan watching the game. You're not happy about an interception, and he has to come back. The only good thing is usually Jimmy Garoppolo, after an interception, leads his team back to get some points. So that's the one thing you can say about him. He bounces back a lot.
Very true, and he really, truly does. And Juanito's situational football isn't understood by the basic fan. I don't know about that. There are a lot of basic fans. I mean, listen, I would consider, well, I don't know if I consider my dad a basic fan, but there's a lot of people that I know that understand basic football and situational football. They understand it. It's the casual fan that doesn't understand. It's the person who doesn't watch football on a weekly basis. They just look at stats.
Do you think numbers. A fantasy fan understands situational?
Oh, heck
football?
No. That's why. That's what I mean. Anyone who just plays fantasy football for
But some of them think they're rabid fans.
They're not rabid fans. They are casual fans. You are casual fans. The only time football is important to you is when it is in regards to fantasy football. If you do not root for a team, if you don't understand, appreciate a game, appreciate the game and what you're doing, if you have a fantasy roster and it's more important for your fantasy player to catch 5 balls for 100 yards and a touchdown than it is for your team to run out the clock. And so you're pissed off at your team or whoever it is that you're watching because they won't just throw the football when they're up 14 with 2.5 minutes left and an opportunity to run the clock out and win the game. Then you're a casual fan. You don't understand situational football. You would be someone who gets dangerous. You're getting dangerously close to being a TAF, like really close to being a TAF.
Right.
But no, I mean, this is what I mean. I would put a lot of people who are just fantasy people who just, it's all fantasy football. That's all it is. You don't necessarily follow a team. Maybe you just like certain players. You're a casual person. You're a casual fan. And you know what? The NFL loves casual fans because you constantly watch. You're invested in whatever players or, big games are on. But at the end of the day, those aren't the people who are going to have an appreciation or understand necessarily what's going on or why things are happening.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think there are casual fans. I think situational football is just for people that really appreciate X's and O's and appreciate, what it takes to win football games. I think sometimes, people only see the big time plays and big time numbers and don't really understand all the little intricacies of football. But when you really get into it, that's when football really becomes beautiful. I mean, that's when it becomes one of those special games, is when you get into all the different elements of it. So yeah, I'm always one of those guys that enjoys all the X's and O's and all the situational things, the complementary football. It's something special about football, but it's a different mindset. It'll change the way you see football. When you don't see it from that mindset and you're just a fan watching the game, you can definitely not understand some things that go. So it's just a different experience.
Very true, Ant. And Jag, this is the best comment on this. If Jeff Garcia, I read the Jeff Garcia comment, by the way. I understand what he's trying to do, but very poorly worded.
Correct.
Needs to have someone there to be like, yeah, you can send that, or no, you can't. You should not send that. Jag, Mina Kimes has a right to her opinion, but shouldn't diminish his hard work and effort to get out there and help his team win.
Exactly.
That is the take.
It's literally,
if more people have that kind of take, the world would be a better place.
It was literally two wrongs.
Correct. And two wrongs don't make a right.
No.
But two rights, Ant, they can make a circle. Two circles can make a figure eight, and two figure eights can make a butterfly. So there's that.
I don't know what you just said, and since I don't understand it, I'm going to take it as disrespect. Yeah.
Oh, what an absolutely wonderful segment we are on right now. Trent won the angry run scepter. I saw a couple people asking, could we see a trick play with Trent as a fullback and motioning him and then throwing him the football? No, I don't see it. I could see them using Trent as...
with him running the football? Not with the bum ankle.
No, not running or catching. I couldn't see it.
With him catching, I could see it. They tried to throw him the ball earlier this year.
Yes, but he was playing an eligible tight end.
Yeah, I could see them trying to run an eligible tackle and throwing him the football, but that wouldn't be until the Super Bowl. He's got to get a little bit healthier for that.
That is very, very accurate. How do you guys see this game going? Christopher, if you want to know how we see the game going, you're going to have to tune in tomorrow, 11 a.m. Pacific time, to the game preview show, in which we're going to talk all about that and give our score predictions. I guess we could tease a little bit of how of how we feel.
Christopher.
I don't think in any way whatsoever you're going to see the same kind of start for the Rams. And I think you're going to see a much different start from the 49ers than we've seen from them the last few weeks, especially last week, because they started extremely slow. I don't expect to see that. I expect to see a team firing on all cylinders. I expect to see a team that's going to have them on their heels early defensively, and a team that on our defensive end for their offense is going to be keeping Matt Stafford completely guessing in terms of what he's seeing and what he's supposed to be doing.
You're going to see a lot of run game. That run game for the 49ers is going to build into a rhythm passing game for Jimmy Garoppolo based on the play action pass. You're going to see Richie Hightower special teams play admirably. And then on defense, you're going to see them try to confuse Matthew Stafford, make sure he feels uncomfortable. This pass rush is going to get after him. The secondary is going to hold up. They're not going to stop Cooper Kupp, but they're going to neutralize him as far as he can get his 9 for 90, 10 for 100. That you live with, but you slow down everyone else. Agreed.
James Peck, people on NFL Sirius radio channel are saying the Niners barely have a little chance of beating the Rams, and I think that's crap. I would agree. Anyone who's thinking that doesn't understand this football team. They really truly don't.
They also probably don't understand football.
There's a good chance they might not understand football as well.
Because there are major holes for the Rams. Everyone sees Von Miller and Floyd on the outsides. What they don't see is those guys aren't as good stopping the run. And the 49ers have great run blockers on the edge and can really, create some avenues for them to be able to run the ball. That's number one. Number two, there's no answers for Deebo Samuel. The Rams don't have an answer for Deebo. He catches the ball on him. He runs the ball on him. Until there's an answer for Deebo Samuel, until Craig walks into the room.
Craig!
And nah.
Hey, Craig!
Nah.
What are you doing, Craig?
They're going to have to do a lot more than that. I think the 49ers are going to be just fine.
God,
and
I love that movie.
National media is going to struggle. And you know what's going to happen if the Niners win this game? They'll be an underdog against whoever they play in the Super Bowl.
Oh, 1,000%.
Yeah.
1,000% going to be the underdog. D-Will, who would even try to tackle Trent Williams? I know I wouldn't. Business decision, if that man's running full speed.
Depends on how much I'm getting paid.
If I'm Aaron Donald, I'm tackling him.
Well, you're massive as well.
Yeah, that's also true.
Yeah, if you're a defensive back,
fighting knives in the offseason.
If you're a defensive back, you're struggling tackling Deebo Samuel and put an extra 100 pounds on that.
I'm not doing that.
I'm good.
You think Jalen Ramsey's going in there for that?
No.
He's a willing tackler. He ain't willing in that scenario.
He's doing a dive at his legs and hoping he misses. Yeah.
Please don't hit my head.
Yeah.
Please don't hit my head. That's all you can. That's all you can kind of do. Do you feel more or less confident than the 2019 NFC Championship from Brad Jones? That is a wonderful question. 2019, I was very nervous going into that football game, specifically because I thought if the Packers could get their run game going, we could be in some problems and some issues. Now, granted, the Niners run game the week before completely shut down Dalvin Cook. I felt very confident, but it was just one of those things. It's Aaron Rodgers. You just never know. You know, he'd lost a couple to us already in the playoffs. This is kind of a big moment for them. They got handled by us earlier in the year. They're definitely going to come out and put on a better showing, right? So I was nervous going into that game. I didn't think the team was going to lose, but I wasn't like 100% confident this is going to be a W. This time around, this game, I feel very confident. You and I both have felt very confident since essentially the playoffs started. For us, it was all about this team getting there. If they got into the playoffs, you and I felt this team could get through whoever they needed to get through in order to get back to a Super Bowl. And that's how I feel right now. I feel they can do this. They can get this done. There's no nerves. There's just anticipation. It's anxiety right now. I'm anxious. I want to get to Sunday. I want to see this thing unfold. I want to see my team execute. I
would say I'm a little less confident in this one than I was in 2019. For the mere fact that I thought the 49ers were going to roll all the way to the Super Bowl in 2019. Like, I had a full belief. I think this one, but it's not like I'm that unconfident. This one is like 8 out of 10. I think I'm that confident.
You were just 11 out of 10 the last time. Right?
Exactly. I thought there was no way that Green Bay was going to win. I had full faith in the 49ers. I thought we were rolling at the right time. So yeah, I was just so confident in that one that, of course, I'm a little less confident in this one.
There you go. And big heck, #comeback season. The last number 6 seed to win the Super Bowl was the 2010 Packers, who also beat their division rival in the NFC title game, the Bears. Packers also beat the Bears to get into the playoffs in the last game.
Wow, there you go.
That is a stat for you.
Yeah. Well, that's
impressive. Stat that.
Yeah, well done.
And Kevin Jimenez, how you doing, 49ers fan? Donald, how are you doing as well? Y'all don't got no love for the West Coast. You know that is right. That is correct. They don't have any for the West Coast at all whatsoever. That's kind of what the East Coast media does. I do agree the 2019 D-line was better, but the 2021 D-line is deeper. This is slowly becoming a talking point for a lot of 49ers fans, and you kind of know how I feel on this. Mm-hmm. You know that I am starting to shift towards the 2020 D-line is better.
2021?
Yeah, I'm starting to shift that way. It's not because the 2019 D-line was bad. It wasn't because the 2019 D-line did anything wrong or the pieces were different or that this team's even deeper. It's how you stop the run. The way that this team has stopped the run with front seven and not having to bring the extra guy in the box, man, I never saw the 2019 team doing stuff like that. I never saw that look from that 2019 D-line.
As far as elite pass rushers, the 2019 team is better. You had Nick Bosa, and then you have Buckner, D Ford, and Armstead. That's an elite. You're right. They're not as good against the run. And that was part of the weaknesses of that San Francisco 49ers defense was Buckner and Armstead could sometimes get moved. And then also you didn't have a healthy D Ford at the end of the year. I think this 2021 defense is so much better against the run that it actually changes the format of the game. And it makes it harder to play against these guys. And then ultimately, because we've seen the last 3 weeks with 5+ sacks and over 70 hurries, I'm going to go on a limb and say that this 2021 team is defensive line is actually playing better than 2019, especially in the playoffs and at this point of the season.
Correct.
You add in the depth, it's tremendously better. Now, of course, there was depth that was lost that year, with Ronald Blair and those guys. So that
and DJ Jones.
Yeah, 2019 was a good football team, but the 2021 and all encompassing, stopping the run and the pass is a little bit better.
True. I think that's part of it too as well. So, you didn't have the depth in 2019 that you have right now in 2021. And maybe that's a part of the reason why they're able to play at the level they're currently playing at. That could be it as well. But at this point in time, the way this 2021 line is playing, absolutely phenomenal. Are you laughing about the burner
account?
laughing
at Jimmy G Burner, yeah.
Yeah, the Jimmy G Burner account is having a good old time. We'll see. There's no way that's actually Jimmy G's burner account because he would never call them hotties. He just wouldn't do it.
Yeah, feels great, baby.
He's a classy gentleman. Yeah. He would never call them hotties.
That was funny.
I did enjoy Aaron Andrews showing some love on the Pat McAfee show the other morning, talking about the Jimmy G situation. One of the only people who's actually talked to people in the locker room and understands what's going on. She talked about, how do they feel about him up there? I said, they love him. They love Jimmy. He's like, She's like the coaches, the players, everybody loves Jimmy.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't know anyone who said a bad word about Jimmy Garoppolo in that locker room. She's like, so I just don't know where all these people coming from is saying, they don't believe in Jimmy Garoppolo. She's like, if you talk to anybody there, they Jimmy Garoppolo is like their favorite person. Mm-hmm. She's like, so I just don't see it. So shout out to Aaron Andrews for that. One of the only media members who's had any sort of interaction that's actually putting out the actual true narrative. And it's not even a narrative. It's just the reality of the situation is of what the 49ers are with Jimmy G.
Yeah, well done. I mean, Aaron Andrews does her thing. She does a good job. So I'm glad that, Jimmy G is getting the support that he deserves from his fans. And then also from, his teammates. And that's the most important one is those teammates. And he came out earlier in the week and basically said, hey, as long as my team is, my teammates believe that I can get it done and believe in me, that's all I really care about. And so they've come out in full force showing that they do believe in him.
Very true. BV, do you think the 2022 team is better on offense? I don't know if they've shown it yet. If they are, they haven't shown it.
No, I think the 2019 team was overall better production-wise.
Mm-hmm.
I think the 2021 team has a better roster of talent.
Correct.
Because you have a better version of George Kittle. Deebo Samuel's playing at all-time high. Brandon Ayuk gives you different skills and attributes than what you had from Emmanuel Sanders. And Jawan Jennings has proven to be a more physical catcher and player than Kendrick Bourne was. Bourne made some big-time third-down catches, and so has Jawan Jennings. I think where you're kind of losing a little bit too, though, is in the Raheem Mostert area. Elijah Mitchell, as good as he is not as dynamic as Raheem Mostert. He added that extra level to your offense. Deebo Samuel has bridged the gap by playing wide receiver or wide back, as it would be, by being able to get those explosive plays in the run game. But yeah, Raheem Mostert, if he was on this roster with the current talent that they have, it could be better than it was in 2019. But I think 2019's production is just a little bit better right now.
At this point, it is, and who knows? Maybe we'll still see Raheem Mostert if you make it past this round. $9.99 super chat from Kevin Jimenez. And
hey, Kevin,
really glad I found your channel. I really enjoy the analysis, updates on players, and overall vibe. I'll be at the game among the sea of red and gold. Let's go Niners! Much love from Orange County.
And I'm gonna give the clap to Kevin Jimenez. Thank you so much for the super chat. But more than that, at the game, going to the game, well done. Getting out there, being loud in the sea of red that's going to be the 49ers fans, that's awesome. I'm looking forward to hearing updates too, Kevin, on how it goes out there with you. It's going to be exciting. The whole faithful is going to be out there in a big way. So big ups to you.
Big ups to Kevin Ant. That is absolutely huge. James asked, does Bosa get the sack playoff record this Sunday?
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
He's getting at least one. That's all he needs.
Bosa's getting after it. Sosa's getting after it. This defensive line's going to get after it in a big way. There's no stopping Nick Bosa this time. If the only way they stop him is not 2 guys, but 3 guys. And if that happens, Armstead, Key, and Ebukam are going to eat.
That is accurate, and they are 100% going to eat. And my dog best friend is back in the chat, folks.
Yeah.
Bang, bang, cutback game.
Oh, there we go.
There it is.
Well done.
Look at my dog's best friend over there. How you doing? He's good. I love that man. Does Sanu return Sunday from Ernest Batley? 100% yes. They've already activated him. They opened his practice window, I guess. Correct?
No, he's off the IR.
He's off
now.
the IR.
Yeah.
That's right. They opened his practice window already.
Right.
So he's on the active roster. So I think we're going to see that.
Yeah,
I think
they had cut Wilson, to make room for him. They activated him. I think we could see him. And if you watch the game plan video on Saturday, I'm going to throw something out there that involves Mohamed Sanu. A little bit of a special thing. So something I've been watching, waiting for, seeing when they were going to do it on film. I think this is the week. 100%
probably could be the week. So if you don't want to miss that, make sure you're subscribed to the channel and you're here Saturday, for that wonderful game plan video, 11 a.m. Pacific time. You're not going to want to miss that. You also don't want to miss the Friday Frenzy tomorrow. So listen, we got 102 of you in the chat right now. All right. Jimmy G's burner just said it. Hit that dang like button if you love Jimmy. But I will add on to it. If you like the cutback, you should also hit it. If you're liking the video, you should also hit it. And if you're excited about a 49ers win, you should also smash that like button. Let's pump those likes up. Let's get this thing close to 100. You know what? I'll set you a goal, cutback crew. I want 85 likes. I want Kittle likes right now. Get that number there. Get it up. And then be here tomorrow for the Friday Frenzy. Because it's the best. I mean, it is the best day on this channel all week long. I mean, that's hard to say, but there's so much content on the Friday Frenzy. You don't get it. But this is the only channel that's pumping out this much content on a Friday. You're going to get a Madden simulation at 9 a.m. Pacific time tomorrow. You're going to get the game preview show at 11 a.m. Pacific time tomorrow. You're going to get What's Good with our boy Jay in the Bay from the Jay and the Bay YouTube channel coming over here, giving you 5 big things for the 49ers to do against the Rams. And then Ant.
And I saw the 5 big things.
They're good.
They're good.
They're always.
Yeah,
he's always got.
He's got 5 big things.
They're big. They're huge. And then Ant, you get all 22 film sneak peek, know your opponent, week 18, 49ers at Rams, in which we go through the film, break it down, talk about where the Niners struggled, talk about where they had success, and get to know the Rams a little bit, what they did that worked, what they did that didn't, and try and get some insight heading into this game on Sunday. Friday Frenzy tomorrow. You're not going to want to miss it. It is going to be absolutely incredible.
Yeah, it is. Friday Frenzies are always great, and it kicks off with the Madden Sim. So 9 a.m. Go check it out.
They don't want to miss the Madden Sim.
No, they don't.
No, you don't.
It's just another one of those games. That's all I can say. If you watch our Madden Sims, just another one of those games,
just another
man.
one of those games, baby.
I mean,
it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
It is going to be fun. You're not going to want to miss it. 9 a.m. Pacific time, Friday Frenzy starts. And if you're here on the channel at 9 a.m., guess what? Every video will just kick you to the next one. So if you watch the first one late, it's fine. You watch it. If it's right around 11 a.m., you finish watching it, it's going to kick you right over to the game preview show, and then right over to what's good, and then right over to know your opponent. So you don't even have to click off. You're welcome, Cutback crew. We make it super simple for you. There. Jimmy G's Burners calling 2 sacks for Nick Bosa. That's going to be fun.
I like that.
Shooter's 5 big things are win, and win. And he wants 5 W's.
I like that.
It's going to be very interesting. And the rumors are next season we get Tom Brady and trade. Jimmy G says the SF super fan. Rumors are just rumors, my guy. We'll see what happens. Tom Brady has to not retire first.
I think Tom Brady would be interested in coming to San Francisco and retiring after 1 year with the 49ers. So there could be something to that. I don't know if the 49ers would entertain that possibility. I don't know if they'd want to trade Jimmy Garoppolo. I don't know what Tom Brady would want money-wise. I don't know if Trey Lance is going to be all the way ready. But all those things is a lot of things we're going to have to talk about after the season.
True.
There's going to be plenty of stuff, I'm sure.
Ant, you are 100% accurate. There's going to be so many things to talk about after the season, so many storylines. But before we get to any of that, I want to get to a Super Bowl. I want this team to get over the hump. I would rather go into the offseason having the conversations with that being the end result from the year than us coming up just a little bit short. I would rather us be making tough decisions because of success than tough decisions because you just didn't get it done.
Right.
$5 super chat from Jag here, Ant. From Jag, gotta go, gentlemen, but I just want you to know that I always feel better after listening to you. Niners 28-24.
Well done, Jag, to going over the 3-point threshold.
He did.
I love that.
He went over the 3-point threshold, Ant.
And thank you so much, Jag, by the way.
We appreciate the $5 super chat, and a guy who's been here for, he's basically a day one OG as well. Jag's been here a long time on this channel, man.
Great takes, always great takes, great
Wonderful.
questions. Enjoy it.
Android user, hey guys, appreciate all the extra content, and it's great to see your continued growth and success for you all. Hey, we really appreciate that, Android. You've been a big supporter of the channel.
Huge supporter. Thank you so much, Android.
I mean, all the super chats, being here, wonderful comments, everything, man. You're absolutely fantastic. Thank you for everything you do for this community, for the Cutback crew, and for this channel. Because all of you watching right now, you're the reason we've had the success we've had, why we've been able to grow. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Siggy asked, any plans to take away Kupp? Of course there is.
I think it's about when you take away Kupp.
Not how,
yeah, when. I think you want to take him away on 3rd down. I think the rest of the time you're trying to manage him. You're just trying to limit him. You're trying to funnel him into other places where he can get tackled. So yeah, I want you to think about what happened with Emmanuel Mosley absolutely taking out Devontae Adams in that game. Those are the type of things you want to do. You want to funnel Cooper Kupp into situations where he can get big hits. They did the same thing with Van Jefferson and Greenlaw in Week 18. He got funneled that way. Greenlaw absolutely destroyed him. Of course, he gets the penalty. But so you want to get big hits. You want to go after the football and Kupp catches it. But when it comes down to 3rd down, that's when you take him away. That's when you make OBJ, Van Jefferson, or Tyler Higbee beat you.
100% accurate. And Grimace here, 1986. Can I just say that Joe Buck's call on the game-winning field goal was the worst. I covered my eyes because I didn't want to see him miss. And Buck's call had me thinking it was 100% a miss.
Yeah. That doesn't surprise me.
That made me grimace.
Yeah. I'm not a huge fan of Buck, so
no.
That does not surprise me at all. I was pretty much yelling, so I did not hear the call. Probably don't really care to hear the call either.
That's true. Brad, I gather no 0 blitzes for the Niners this week.
I don't think
can't
so.
Catch a break, eh?
Yeah, I don't think so. But I think we could see some zero coverage at times.
Very true.
This won't be with a zero blitz, but whenever you have Jimmy Ward on the team and the way they can man up, depending on the situation, the formation, the timing, you could see some of those looks.
Very true. You very well could. I don't see any zero blitz looks coming though.
No, not zero blitz.
Ernest Batley, got to go to bed. East Coast here. Love this channel. The anti-conspiracy channel. You make me feel so much better than how that has made the negativity and the highlight. This is our team. No drama, just ball. We're gonna do that. And Ernest, we appreciate you finding the channel. We appreciate you being here daily and weekly when we're doing weekly live streams. Now daily, every day for videos, daily videos as well. It's been a pleasure having you here. It's always great to add to the Cutback crew and to get more of the faithful in here and starting to see how many of the faithful, understand football, have incredible comments, talking the game with us. It's been a blast, man. Yeah,
there's a lot of great ones, and that's what's exciting about it. Is the 49ers got some intelligent fans, and we're sending a bunch of intelligent fans to SoFi Stadium on Sunday, and they're going to know when to be loud, they're going to know when to be quiet. And they're going to flip this thing on its head. They're taking over SoFi in a big way. And then we're going to have a lot of fun conversation because if the Niners win this game for 2 straight weeks, we get to talk 49ers versus whoever they're going to play for the Super Bowl. So that'll be fun.
Super Bowl,
yeah, big time.
I want that. The only better thing than 49ers content in January is 49ers content in February. We've been saying that now.
Yep.
And we got one game to get that done, one game to get there, one opportunity, Ant.
Yep.
To seize everything we ever wanted in one moment. Will we capture it?
Hey, Slim Shady, chill out, bro. This ain't 8 Mile Road.
No,
Relax.
it isn't.
Yeah.
It isn't 8 Mile Road. Cohen's actually been positive this week and giving props to Kyle for turning around the season. Good.
Well done. Nice.
I'm glad that Grant is backpedaling.
Yeah.
I'm happy for him.
Yeah. He did also say he also said what Mina Kimes said, so.
So, I mean... There's
but good. I'm glad he's being positive. Well, then we want everyone to have the positive mojo going into this game.
I want everyone to be able to enjoy this team. So he says, "Go Bengals, Ant! Go Bengals!"
Hey, you know what? I think a lot of people would love to see Niners Bengals for a 3rd time in a Super Bowl.
Hey, Niners Bengals in the Super Bowl would be great. Honestly, either matchup's fine. Niners Bengals.
If it's the Chiefs, that's
it's tough.
It's the revenge.
It is. It's tough. But I mean, you're gonna sit there and tell me that there's not a single person in that Niners locker room who is hoping that the Chiefs wins, they get an opportunity?
I don't think they care. I think they just want the Super Bowl.
I think you're right.
Yeah, they don't care. They just want the Super Bowl. And I'm with them. I don't care who makes it.
Just get us there.
Yep, exactly.
Just get there. One game to do it. Cutback crew, look, we're going to wrap up for the night. We appreciate all the comments. We appreciate all of the super chats. And we appreciate all the new members of the Cutback crew. And if you're new here and you're not sure yet, like I really like you guys, but I don't know if I want to subscribe. Look, it's free. It doesn't take any time. It takes literally half of a second. You can hit the subscribe button faster than Jimmy Garoppolo releases the football. All right? And guess what? If you end up hating us later down the road or you just don't like it, it's just not for you, then that's A-okay as well. You can always unsubscribe at a later time if this doesn't work out for you. But help support this channel. Help support this community. Hit that subscribe button. Help us get those numbers up. We're trying to get that content pumped out to the rest of the faithful. Liking the video helps. Subscribing helps as well. And all the comments have helped tremendously. You have no idea. It pumps it out throughout the algorithm when you guys are commenting away like you have been doing it. So man, this is exciting times. And almost 30 years since we won the Super Bowl. I always wondered why fans cry after their team wins it, because many of them were teens since they became fans, and now many are in their 40s and 50s. A big heck comeback season. Talk about some truth right there.
I feel you, big heck. That part of it is the reason why, because I'm also a San Francisco Giants fan. In 2014, when the Giants were going to in the World Series, they had Game 7 against the Royals, and one of my friends wanted to watch the game, but he had football practice to go coach, and I told him, I was like, dude, you're never going to see this again, man. This might be the only time we ever see our team win again. You start having that realization and that belief. It's like you gotta be thankful for those opportunities. And they won, and it was exciting, and we're glad we didn't miss it. But yeah, you're right. It brings everything into perspective. You're thankful when you have the opportunity. There's some teams that have never had a chance to say that their team played in the Super Bowl, and there's even more that have never had a chance to say they won a Super Bowl. We have people that are on our channel that have never seen the 49ers win a Super Bowl. We need to change that. We need everyone to be able to see that. Hopefully the Niners can get it done this year.
Hey, I'm hoping that's going to be the case. We're going to see what's going to happen. They got an opportunity this weekend to get themselves into the game and into the Super Bowl with a chance to bring one home to Levi's, the first one since they've been at Levi's, and as Rich Eisen talked about on the Rich Eisen show, the first one at SoFi Stadium, a place you're going to travel to every single year for the rest of time as long as that place stands. And if you're the team who goes into SoFi and wins the first Super Bowl at SoFi Stadium, something you can hold over that fan base for the rest of eternity.
Yeah, the good news is it won't be like 1981 or 1988 where you got stuck in. 1981 was a traffic jam because Bush decided he was going to go, and then of course 1988 you have the snowstorm. So True. None of that's going to happen in LA. So that's all good news.
That's great news, and because the traffic's already going to be jammed up.
Well, it's LA.
That's exactly right. It can't get any worse than it already is down there.
Early.
And you better get there early.
Yeah.
Cutback crew, look, enjoy the rest of your night. Enjoy the rest of your day. Friday Frenzy coming your way, 9 a.m. Pacific time tomorrow. Going to be a lot of fun. We'll see you over there for that. Madden Sim's going to be off the chart. And Ant, I think it's about that time.
All right, guys. Thanks, everyone. And thanks for coming by. Let's chalk another one up.
Madden Sim, be there.